Galnet News Digest, 15th of August 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, we review what we know about alien abductions. We review the fate of the Dedicant megaship. And we wonder what the new and as yet unacknowledged discoveries of Thargoid sites might mean.
The Thargoids have collected tens of millions of living humans since the start of the invasion. In the past few weeks, they have intensified their efforts to collect even more. Aegis has known about this for months, yet it is only since the coming of the Scythes that the scale of the abductions has become apparent. Why are we being kept in the dark? It was on the 9th of August that Aidan Tanner warned pilots to be alert to the presence of a new type of Thargoid that appears to have been built specifically to harvest the living souls of its unfortunate human victims. These new ships, called Scythes, target any ship carrying passengers, be they luxury passengers, refugees from the war, or cryogenically frozen cargo of humans in escape pods. Following hyperdiction, they attack, attempting to disable the vessel, inject something, no one is quite sure what, into passenger cabins to force the inhabitants to take to their escape pods, and deploy the Thargoid equivalent of hatchbreaker and collector limpets to eject the escape pods into space and then collect them all up. Thargoids have collected escape pods for as long as we have known them. Even relatively peaceful Thargoids will demand that escape pods are dropped. The scale of the collection has, however, increased dramatically since November last year when the Titans arrived. And it has increased again with the arrival of the Scythes. Luca Redondo of the Imperial Auxiliary Navy described considering whether it might be better to destroy escape pods by firing on them, rather than leave the occupants to whatever fate the Thargoids might have planned. Months before the arrival of the Scythes, it was the accountants and claims adjusters of Safeguard Interstellar that first notified Aegis that there might be a problem with mass abduction. When accounting for rescues and deaths in Thargoid invaded systems, there was a consistently large cohort of inhabitants who had neither been rescued nor confirmed dead. While there is always some discrepancy, some people die unrecorded deaths or are able to escape without checking in at a rescue ship. The number of missing people was suspiciously large. Despite being presented with this information some considerable time in the past, Aegis has only now decided to go public on the matter. Aegis says it is investigating ways of recovering the missing people alive, but it has come under criticism from the Federal Free Press for keeping the facts secret for so long. Members of the Xeno Peace Movement pointed out that not all Thargoids appear to be aggressive. Icecaster Timothy Culver suggests that the Thargoid may simply be trying to understand humanity. Writing in Vox Galactica, Ernesto Rios took a gloomier view, suggesting that the humans might be being used as food for young Tharglets, or as biomechanical fuel for the war effort. Aegis's Vice Admiral Skylar Anderson prefers not to enumerate the unpleasant fates that might await these harvested living souls.
Now that we know so much about the way the Thargoid Scythes work, it's unavoidable to conclude that the Thargoid cult megaship Dedicant met a similar fate, with those on board forced to abandon ship and then scooped up for Thargoid dinner. Some of the more mysterious parts of the voice logs recovered from the wreck seem to bear this out. The ship was being used by the Federation to transport Thargoid prisoners. However, it was originally built for the cult, and it incorporated booby traps and a corridor layout that changed dynamically to confuse the would-be captors. The confusion of the Federal security teams is apparent in the early recordings.
Command, this is Senior Agent Desmond West, requesting response. Attention, FIA personnel. I'm broadcasting on all known agency channels. We have, an emergency situation on the megaship Dedicant. There was some kind of a trap embedded in one of the communal areas. It went off like a flashbang. Full sensory overload. Took us out for a few minutes.
No way that worked. They were totally out of it. Maybe there's something to this Thargoid after all. Okay, for the record, I set off the trap that dazed the Federal Guards. Me. 61st adherent of the 11th Chew Chapter. I saw the trigger hidden in the wall as we shuffled past. All I had to do was give it a little kick. I know the first herald said the chip under our skin would protect us from the noise, but it was so loud. My ears are still ringing. The Federals got it really bad, though. Just dropped to the floor, holding their heads and yelling. I saw one of them throw up. And then I ran and ran.
We have a situation down here. The Dedicant's internal layout has changed. My guess is cultists have control of the security networks. Doors are closed in some corridors and open in others. We know where we need to go, but keep running into dead ends.
Stay strong, my brothers and sisters. I will keep you safe from our tormentors. Speaking of which, if I close this corridor down and shut that access point, there. Now the faithless ones have to bring their remaining captives to Section 86. There are more traps on the route too.
As the guards find out, the cult members had decided to deliver themselves and the guards to the Thargoids to achieve transcendence.
Walton found a local cache of the cult's sacred text on one of the consoles. Been reading through it for anything which could help us identify their next steps after scurrying off into hiding. Nothing yet. It's mostly nihilistic poetry about how beautiful the galaxy will be once everyone in it has been purged. The data stamp says the text was being edited when the Dedicant was seized. Something about an expedition into Thargoid space. Sounds like a spectacularly bad idea.
The ninth disciple brings word. Our prayer has been delivered to the void. I await the heralds of the far god. In our time of need, we ask our blessed savior for protection.
After the jump into Thargoid-controlled space, it seems that the Dedicant was targeted by possibly the first known attacks of the Scythes. The pain and panic that forced those on board, guards and cultists alike, to take to the escape pods is apparent from the ends of the recorded logs.
Soon, the heralds will receive our offering. A signal broadcasting the songs of their vessels, a token of our faith. We will enter our pods to dream of paradise.
What was that? Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, no. Not here! Please, not here!
What's that noise? More federal vermin? Where is that coming from? This isn't right. Don't think so.
I want to get out of here.
High on narcotics, Sophie Brandt's final recording confirms the pinwheel shape of the Scythes.
They're so graceful. Like flowers in the wind. Pinwheels. They're reaching out to us. Everything the Herald said was true. I see it now. It's so beautiful.
In recent days, 2 different sets of Thargoid-related planetary discoveries have been made. There are barnacle matrices, and there is what appears to be an ancient Guardian Thargoid conflict site. There are at least 44 barnacle matrix sites, all within Thargoid-controlled systems related to the Titan invasion. These appear to be what might be described as barnacle seedlings, planted by the Thargoids to grow meta-alloys to replenish and repair their fleet. The sites reveal more about the biomechanics of the barnacles, with strange coral trees and toughened tree roots, both of which presumably vanish as the barnacles mature. Unlike the mature barnacles, the Thargoids seem to take the care of these saplings seriously, and the nasty cousins of the scavengers, the revenants, are likely to materialise if you get too close. But it is the Guardian ruins and crashed Thargoid ships on Regio BU-Y B2-0 Planet 1C that are perhaps the most intriguing. The only previous direct evidence of a battle between Guardians and Thargoids was in Trapezium Sector YU-X C1-2, the site that inspired Azimuth and Salvation to create the Proteus Wave device. With the allegedly disembodied consciousness of Salvation still missing, and with Seojin A claiming that this Nemesis failsafe might be based on Guardian technology, the discovery of these 2 surprisingly new-looking Guardian ruins, with destroyed Thargoids scattered around, may make some wonder whether the sites might have something to do with Salvation. The ghost of Salvation may haunt these sites in a more than figurative way.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.